Hey everyone, it's Neil with Wildfox Woodworks, and today I'm going to give you the tutorial on how to make the growth chart ruler. Start out with a piece of wood. It's a 1x6. Skinnier than this looks funny, wider than this looks funny, so just go to the closest store, buy yourself a nice piece of 1x6. Make sure it doesn't have any big knots in it, big chunks missing out of it. Make sure there's no cracks. I like to find something that has a little bit of character to it, so that once we stain this, it looks better than just a normal piece of wood. So, a couple easy steps. All we're going to do is sand it, stain it, mark out our height, and then we're either going to paint our lines or we're going to use our Cricut and put some vinyl numbers on the side. So, first off, we got to sand it. So, I've got some 320 grit sandpaper here, and all we're going to do is just go over it once, get off any rough edges, and we're going to round the corners so that they're not so sharp. So, here we go. So it's just a light sanding. Run your hand over it. Make sure there's no edges that are going to cut your stick out. Rounded the edges here so it's no longer sharp. Now it's time to choose the stain that you like, and we'll get this thing stained up. Okay, now that we've selected our wood and we've gave it a quick sanding, it's time to stain it. So I use this standard Varathane stain. It's a wood stain. I usually let it dry overnight once I'm done with it, but it comes in multiple colors, just like all the other products that we make here. You can pretty much choose whatever color you want. Weathered gray seems to be pretty popular, so I'm going to do this one weathered gray. Wear gloves because this can get messy. Once it gets on your hands, it's a pain to get off. So I've already shooken this up. It's nice and mixed. Just take a cloth. Get a good amount of stain. And we're just going to cover the entire thing. So now that we have a coat on, we let it set just for a few minutes, and we're going to wipe it right back off. now that we have it stained, we're going to let it dry overnight. And then we're going to mark out our measurements, then we'll paint them on. Okay, so now that we've allowed our board to dry overnight, we need to make our marks for our ruler. So we get our tape measure, make it go the length of the board, and what we're going to do is start 6 inches up so that when you put this on your wall, you don't have to worry about hitting the molding on the bottom of the floor. So we're always going to measure 6 inches up. So our first mark is going to be at 6 inches, and that's actually going to be our 1 foot mark. And so every foot after that we're going to make a large mark so we know exactly where our foot is. So we're going to be 6, 18, 30, 42, 54, and 66. So now that we have our 1 foot measurements marked, that's where our numbers are going to go. We have to go back and we have to measure each of the inches. So this one, you just make little dashes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know that our little dashes are going to be our inch hash marks, and our long one is going to be our 1 foot. And we continue all the way down all 6 feet of the board. Okay, so now that we have all of our hash marks marked off with pencil, what we're going to do is use a white acrylic paint, or any color paint that you choose, and we're going to mark our hash marks. Our short hash marks for the 1 inches are going to be short, and our 1 foot hash marks are going to be longer. Now you can choose whichever size or length that you want, but just remember that your foot measurements should be the longer of the dashes. So there's a 1 foot marker because we're starting 6 inches up. And we're just going to go the whole length. Okay, now that we have all of our dash marks and we're happy with them, it's time to put the numbers on. So there's 2 different ways to do it. You can either use stencils, put them at each of the 1 foot marks, and paint them, or since my wife doesn't like those, what she did is she went onto her Cricut and she's printed out the shape that she does like. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel this off and set it on each of the spots, and then we're going to paint those and then peel the excess off. Okay, now that we have our stencils placed where we want them, whether you're using a handheld stencil or a vinyl stencil that I put on, all we're going to do is paint the number now. Try to get all your brush strokes one direction. Okay, now that we've let our paint dry, I peeled off the vinyl and we've got our final numbers painted on. You can make the hash marks longer, shorter, however you like. But now we have to have a way to secure this to the wall that we put it on. So what we're going to do is drill a pilot hole. At the top and the bottom. Right in the center. Now we don't want to see, we don't want to have the end of the screw sticking out. So I'm just going to use a larger drill bit and we're just going to take out the top so that when we put the screw inside, the head's not sticking out. It'll be completely flush. Now we've got the hole at the top and the bottom. So whichever wall we decide to put it on, we can just put a screw right through, connect it to the wall, and we can begin taking our measurements of our kids. Alright, so that's it. You finish your product. You've got your height ruler. Very customizable, different stains, different paints, different colors. Choice is yours. So again, this tutorial is one of many. Everything that we make here at Wildfox Woodworks, I'll put a tutorial on. Stuff is pretty simple to make if you got the right tools. If you want to purchase something like this from us, check out our website. If you like the tutorial, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and the link will be somewhere around this box. Check us out. Go to our website. You can find our other tutorials there as well. And again, this is Neil with Wildfox Woodworks. I'll see you next time.